So welcome to all of our ambassadors and council members from across Western Canada. I'm so pleased to welcome folks from Manitoba to British Columbia and a few people from Ontario. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Adrienne Boothroyd, Director of Community Volunteer Experience. Today is our third of 4 ambassador sessions that we've been delivering via Zoom. You should have received a handout package via email. It contained a copy of the agenda as well as a tip sheet. As this is just our third time hosting our virtual session, we do ask for your patience. Although this is new for us, as we usually host these face-to-face, we are just so excited and pleased to be able to offer this opportunity to everyone today or tonight. For those of you who are not familiar with our BCY Ambassador Program, it is a program that is coordinated by 4 volunteers, and without their talent and dedication, our program wouldn't exist. So a very special thank you to Marilyn Lentz and Gab Vito, Paula Springman, and Patricia Wilson. These amazing volunteers will be live and in action throughout the session. I would also like to extend a thank you to Joelle, who is working tirelessly behind the scenes, and to Mari for sharing her video expertise. A huge shout out both to Michelle and Patricia, 2 fabulous ambassadors who will be sharing their experience with us. I'm so looking forward to it. So today you have the opportunity to learn about social media, the important role it plays in our lives, learning how to make and share videos on Zoom or Facebook or any other platform is what we hope to achieve today. You'll have the chance to see what some ambassadors are already doing online to spread the word about the work being done by the MS Society. Plus, we'll have an exciting announcement about a new resource for ambassadors. So before we begin, a few housekeeping tips to keep in mind for this and all other online meetings you attend. Make the conscious choice to be on or off camera. We all know of people who have been in compromised positions, so make sure that you've got your pants on. Good lighting is crucial for everyone to see you. We want to see your face, we want to see you, so please make sure that you have good lighting. Please stay muted unless you're speaking. This leaves it's less distracting for everyone else on the call. To find the microphone, tap on the participant's icon, and you will find the microphone and video camera picture beside your name. When you are going to speak, remember to identify yourself, be courteous, be mindful of how much you have shared, and allow others the opportunity to share. On Zoom, you can also type feedback or questions in the chat box. I can see people are using that already. Today, feel free to do that at any time. The chat box can be found by clicking or tapping on the 3 little dots on a computer. It's at the bottom there. So that's sort of a quick overview of our online etiquette tips. And so now I think I'm going to ask the amazing Gabrielle Vito to start us off. Gab, over to you.
Thank you very much, Adrienne. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for Zooming in with us today. I'm very lucky to be part of the ambassador team here in BC. I'm coming to you today from the beautiful little town of Parksville on Vancouver Island. As you've already heard, my name is Gabrielle Vito, and I'm a longtime volunteer with the MS Society. In fact, since my own diagnosis way back in 1996. At the time, back then, I was a young TV news reporter working in Vancouver. And of course, the topic we're on today, social media, did not exist back then, as we know and use it pretty much every day in every aspect of our lives. Nowadays, the internet back then was just in its infancy. So today, of course, the scene is very different, and businesses and charities must have a strong, coordinated presence on social media in order to thrive. So we wanted to start with a couple of quotes. This first one is from the UK from 7 years ago, but it still is applicable and all over the world, really. It comes from the Clare Foundation in an article they wrote for the Guardian newspaper. Social media can be one of the most effective ways for charities to build supporters, boost donations, share success stories, network with like-minded organizations, encourage people to sign up to campaigns, recruit volunteers, or demonstrate the impact of their work. Pretty much every aspect of what charities do. But for our purposes as leadership volunteers, council members, and ambassadors, that last point really made a an impact on me, demonstrate the impact of their work, which is exactly the goal of all of us. Here in Canada, I found some numbers from the online giving report from CanadaHelps.org, and that shows that Canadians are getting more and more comfortable with online donations. They've been rising steadily each year since 2011. They go on to show in this report that from 2016 to 2017, there was a 17% increase in online giving, and that compares with just 6% increase in total giving. So we know that Canadians are looking and spending and donating online. So now we add the COVID effect, as I'm calling it. We add a global pandemic to the mix, and everything online has jumped, right? Every online platform, online type of communication is in overdrive right now. That has some good and some negative aspects, of course. The MS Society, I think, has been a good example of trying to pivot events, education, and opportunities for members to the online world by holding webinars and conferences and sessions like this one, all online. So for us as ambassadors, I think there's an opportunity here. The storytelling that many of you are already good at, and some of you are still working on, that we've been doing face-to-face, we now need to pivot that storytelling and that information sharing and that impact online to make as big an impact as we possibly can. So today, as we watch and learn about online video production, we want to start with sharing on a platform like Zoom. If or when you're presenting or speaking with the media, we want to give you some tips on sharing files, photos, or videos over something like Zoom. So I'm going to throw things back to Adrienne now, and she and Joelle are going to give us some pointers. So Adrienne, back to you.
Great, thanks, Gab. Okay, so yeah, hi everyone. We thought it might be helpful to share a few basic tips on how to use the Zoom platform. I know some people might be very familiar with it and other people not so familiar. Our group certainly has had a lot of learning over the past few weeks, just so that we were able to learn how we could present the material that we're presenting today. So what we found is Zoom is really a user-friendly platform, and it provides a great opportunity to bring people together. So as an ambassador, if you're thinking of starting a self-help group, bringing a committee together, or perhaps having an opportunity to share your elevator pitch, Zoom is a great option. Once you have your meeting set up, you need to think about how you want to facilitate your meeting. One of the easiest ways to make your session more interactive is by sharing your screen. So how do you share your screen? As the host of the meeting, you can easily share your screen with participants by following these steps. All you have to do is drag your mouse to find the screen share icon. Thank you, Joelle. Click on the screen share icon. Do this with caution, as once you do this, Zoom displays all of your computer's currently open programs. And you can see on the screen here as an example. Click on the specific screen, desktop, or application that you want to share excuse me, with participants. If you want to share your computer's sound or optimize your screen share session for playing videos, then select one of the corresponding checkboxes in the corner of your screen. So you can see Joelle has circulated it right on the screen there for us to see. Click on the Advanced tab at the top of the screen to do the following. Share a portion of your screen or share music or computer sound only. Now you are set. You can click on the share button, but please remember at this time, participants still might be able to see you, so just keep that in mind. Zoom adds both a green "you are sharing" screen notification and a red stop and share indicator in the meeting menu as shown on the screen. Now you will be sharing your screen. Zoom also places a green enclosure around the specific screen that you are sharing as a subtle reminder. Food for thought: when sharing your screen, you still have control. That is, you can still move your mouse, type on your keyboard, and perform other normal computer functions. During this time, you can pause your screen sharing session. If you want to temporarily stop sharing your screen, you can click the pause share button. Zoom displays a message that reads your screen is sharing has been paused. When you want to stop sharing your screen, click on the red Stop Share button underneath the In Meeting menu in the center. You can see it there on the screen. Thank you, Joelle. So this is just a very quick overview of how you can share your screen. There are lots of other interesting options with Zoom. You can allow people to edit your document. You can set up polls. You can do breakout sessions to make your sessions more interesting and engaging. Our overview is just very basic, just to give people a quick sample. If you as an ambassador want to use Zoom, and if you have any questions, or you're a little bit confused with how to use it or not comfortable, please feel free to reach out to our team, because we'd be more than happy to help you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Adrienne. That was great. A simple 1-2. I think that's a really good start for most of us, because I know I've sort of been thrown into Zoom. I've never experienced it before. Eons ago, I had a lot of on-camera sort of experience, and I even got caught because in one of our previous sessions, I thought when the slides are up, no one will see me. So I was eating and drinking until Marilyn was texting me, another one of our executives, saying, "So what you eating, Gab? Did you realize you're still on camera?" And I was like, uh-oh. So it's always a good idea to educate oneself as much as possible before doing things like that. I have no snacks here today, so that won't happen. So wonderful. Okay, so now we're going on to the next section, and I have the distinct privilege of introducing our next two presenters, who are ambassadors who are already doing what we're talking about today. So we've got our first person will be Michelle Clark, and she is an ambassador with experience at the board level of both back when we were chapters and now that we're councils. She's been with the MS Society for I don't know exactly how long, but a great ambassador here in BC, and I will let her introduce herself and give us her presentation about how she is already using videos on social media. So take it away, Michelle.
Well, thank you, Gabby. That was a great introduction. And yes, I have been volunteering with the MS Society for a considerable time now. I guess since, well, 10 years anyways. It's been a wonderful time and had a variety of things to do. And my most recent thing that I did was creating a video. And it's challenging to do. I was very confused at first. I didn't know what exactly I was doing, but I was given the mission of making a 90-second video covering 7 topics. Now, that is a lot of information to pile into just 90 seconds. It took me a few tries and then had to break it up into little 15-second clips and then compiled it all and created this message that has 7, I guess, hidden messages. So let's play. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michelle Clark. I was diagnosed with MS in 2004. Hello, happy National Volunteer Week 2020. I'd like to recognize one volunteer in particular. This is Alyssa Ono. Alyssa, thank you for being a fantastic volunteer. And I met Alyssa when she started volunteering as a facilitator for a self-help group. Alyssa has been a wonderful facilitator at a support group for people with MS and NMO. I joined this support group a few months before Alyssa became the group facilitator, and this was over 10 years ago. Thank you, Alyssa, for your dedication and commitment to volunteering with the MS Society of Canada. Thank you. A funny story with Alyssa was at one meeting, we couldn't get into the meeting room because we were locked out. So Alyssa had an idea, we'd go to the library. So we walked around the corner to the library, got a private room, and held our meeting. So thank you, Alyssa. You're a great volunteer. Thank you, Alyssa. And thank you all the other volunteers of the MS Society of Canada. As a person living with MS, you're volunteering and what you do makes a difference. Thank you. And happy National Volunteer Week. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Okay, well, thank you for playing that, Joelle. As you can see, I have made a few mistakes in that the landscape portrait debacle. I kind of messed that one up. So in the future, let's try landscape so you get a better picture and see more of the view instead of just a tiny little face shot. So there's the next, I guess, after these presentations, you'll see some tips and tricks people talk about and learn more. But that was my first try, and that was from April this past year at National Volunteer Week. So what I did was these 7 little messages. The first one was basically, who am I and what is my relation to MS? You had my name and that I was diagnosed with MS in 2004. And then the next little clip went on with why I was doing the video for National Volunteer Week. And there was one volunteer I really wanted to thank. And so the next one went to, how do I know the volunteer I'm thanking? And then we continue on with describe an instance where this volunteer stood out for me. And I mean, volunteering for over 10 years, that stands out to me. And then number 5 was describing a moment where that volunteer really impacted me. And 6, why it was important for people volunteering for the MS Society of Canada. And then my last clip, number 7, was to thank everyone, thank all volunteers, and say goodbye with a nice friendly wave. So that was my video that I made, and it could always use extra work, and I still want to change things, but I've had to put that always wanting to change and perfect things aside, because this type A doesn't work for all these purposes of, you know, try again. So the next video clip is going to break up and match each of those little topics with the video clip. Thank you, Joelle.
Hello, my name is Michelle Clark. I was diagnosed with MS in 2004. Hello, happy National Volunteer Week 2020. I'd like to recognize one volunteer in particular. This is Alyssa Ono. Alyssa, thank you for being a fantastic volunteer. And I met Alyssa when she started volunteering as a facilitator for a self-help group. Alyssa has been a wonderful facilitator at a support group for people with MS and NMO. I joined this support group a few months before Alyssa became the group facilitator, and this was over 10 years ago. Thank you, Alyssa, for your dedication and commitment to volunteering with the MS Society of Canada. Thank you. A funny story with Alyssa was at one meeting, we couldn't get into the meeting room because we were locked out. So Alyssa had an idea, we'd go to the library. So we walked around the corner to the library, got a private room, and held our meeting. So thank you, Alyssa. You're a great volunteer. Thank you, Alyssa. And thank you all the other volunteers of the MS Society of Canada. As a person living with MS, you are volunteering and what you do makes a difference. Thank you. And happy National Volunteer Week. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Okay, well, thank you. I hope everyone enjoyed that little session of my mistakes. Again, landscape would have been better. And it was just me expressing my gratitude for all the volunteers and learning. And something else that I learned was visual messages. I don't know if everybody else has, the idea that if you watch a message, you're more likely to stay engaged than when you're reading a message. So I try to make it more interesting by changing my locations. But then with the tips and tricks, you don't really want a busy background. Like I always have a busy background and I'm moving around. So I need to learn more and I'm looking forward to the tips and tricks. So that was my 87-second video clip. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Michelle. I really, really appreciate you sharing this with us today and being really honest about the process you've gone through, breaking it down step by step for us, and the whole learning process of making mistakes. If we don't make mistakes, then how do we learn? So I know that we have a fair number of people on the call today. We're at around the 40 mark. So there'll be people right across the spectrum, right? People who've never done anything like this before and need to do that breakdown and learn things step by step, and people who are already very, very, very comfortable on social media. So I think you sharing this with us today is super valuable for those of us who are going, oh, I'm not sure if I can do this whole social media thing and become an influencer, or even think about becoming an influencer. So good for you. Bravo. Thank you very much. Now, do we have any questions from anybody at this point? Michelle, I know, is okay answering any questions. If you have any, please put them in the chat box or put your hand up and we will see if we can get to those. Julia, do you see anything? Oh, we have a comment. Jackie, I think you're from Saskatchewan, is that right? Michelle, she says, I think making mistakes is being authentic and real. Yay! I think that's a wonderful, wonderful bit of feedback. So thank you, Jackie, for that. Any other questions or any discussion at this point? I don't see any. So, oh, here we go. We do have one. Terry, does the MS Office pre-screen the videos before they are posted? Excellent question. So I'll give a little bit of my 2 bits on that, and I'll probably throw it over to Adrienne for clarification. I think official videos, yes, those you would probably be doing along with staff before they even get posted anywhere. The new resource we have for ambassadors, our own Facebook page, that you all have access to post videos to. And those would not be pre-screened. They're pre-screened by admin to make sure they're appropriate and meet the guidelines for the page as a whole, but those wouldn't be officially screened. Anything that would go out in a communications campaign that would have MS Society branding on it, yes, those would be done in conjunction with staff. Adrienne, is that sort of the one too?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. If it's something that's for a campaign, it would be something that would be, really screened, and it would go through our communications department, absolutely.
Yeah, and Terry, you're exactly right in your comment there. It's exactly for consistency, branding, and messaging to make sure that everybody's on the same page and exactly those things. Okay, thank you very much for that. So I will move along now to our next presenter. And Patricia, if I say this wrong, please do correct me, but our next ambassador comes to us from Alberta. Patricia is a MS Bike participant, spokesperson, and an ambassador who's held events, done media interviews, and is already using social media to spread the word of the work of the MS Society. So please join me in welcoming Patricia Rizjoka from Alberta. Patricia, take it away.
No, that was great. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I was diagnosed with MS in 2012 and basically started riding in the bike tour a couple months later, and have been involved with the MS Society since. And so my videos and stuff are going to be for people that already are a little bit more familiar with social media. But that being said, some of them, like, I have no idea what I'm doing also, and I just kind of learn and play. So I'll try and give you a few tips about that. So Joelle, if you want to play the first one. sitting here trying to come up with a video to share with all of you about social media and video use, and I'm realizing that it really is all going to depend on what's going on, what event is going on, what the hottest, latest trend in videos is. So it's going to change. So yeah, so as I said in there, it's tough to come up with just one example or something specific for me to tell you about what will work every time, because there's not one thing. Your videos will depend on what you're hoping to achieve. If you're wanting to raise awareness about something, you know, MS in general, or living life with MS, or being a caregiver to someone with MS, or a specific event that's coming up. And so we'll go maybe with the next video.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in circle, walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Yeah. Hey, every day can be a better day despite the challenge. All you gotta do is leave it better than you found it. It's gonna go.
Okay, so that one, for example, that was a video on the virtual MS Walk Day, and so what we had decided to do was create a dance that people could do whether they have mobility issues or not, and people were just supposed to record themselves doing it in any fun way. And so that's what's kind of critical is a lot of your videos are going to have to see if they're like the time that you're wanting to post them. So so there's videos that you can post leading up to an event. You can do it during a specific event. If it's before, you want to get the information out on how people can be involved. And so we had that dance as an example for people to be able to learn ahead of time. And then during the event makes people aware of what's going on and the details of it, and potentially if they can still get involved. If it's, you know, a day or two long event, they can still get there. And then for after an event, for example, are great videos that you can do to let people know what the event was like, what they missed out on if it was a great event, and maybe what they can expect next year if you're planning on doing it again. And then one really important thing is also to be able to thank anyone who supported, who was involved in the event, who participated, and anyone that would have sponsored the event. So yeah, so we can go into the next video. Hello, social media. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, fam. Some of you said you missed me talking on here, so here I am. We are leaving soon to Woodshed downtown on 124th Street. We're gonna hop back on our bikes, ride to Woodshed South, maybe give you guys a sneak peek, and then head to a workshop. Hopefully be there no later than 7. So if you wanna come out, give us a wave from a distance. We'd love to see you while you pick up those delicious salmon burgers. And now I just wanna take a second to pump Paul's tires, because he has honestly been so incredible, not just for me, but for this whole city throughout all of this. And he's taken this, run with it, brought it to a whole new level. He's training like a madman so that we can get to Camrose and back on July 25th. And we're already 40% of the way to our goal in 48 hours. Like, this is incredible. Thank you so much for the support so far. And yeah, keep buying the burgers and keep donating. So that was a great example. It kind of was a little bit of everything. It was, if you have time, come join us in the next couple hours. You know, this is what we're raising money towards in the future, the bigger event, and then a thank you to the people that are sponsoring. And then so what you want to look at too is that was a bit of a longer video. On some of the other platforms like Instagram, those ones will split up on their own, like it'll turn into kind of like 15-second blocks. And so what I've really noticed, even for myself, I'll admit it, you know, you're going to see long videos, and people will lose, and it's like their attention span you'll lose interest pretty quickly. And so keeping them to, you know, the really quick ones to within 15 seconds, but that kind of minute cutoff is a big one. So that one was about a minute. And then so that one, let's go into the next one.
So usually in the morning I wake up and I open Twitter, see what's going on in the world. And today I saw a story that made me cry, like really, really happy tears. About 10 months after I was diagnosed with MS, and like 4 months after I had regained my vision, I went to a research priorities discussion where I told them how important I thought exercise was to helping deal with MS. The results of a study that was funded by the MS Society, that was done right here in Alberta, have come out and said that exercise enhances the rate of remyelination with MS lesions. So lesions are the things that cause MS symptoms. So why am I crying? Because they listened, and everything that I do to fight for the MS Society and to raise money, like, it's just so worth it. And all of your support, that's what it means. Thank you for supporting all my crazy bike tours and all of my fundraisers and everything, because really, like, this is just showing exactly that we just need to keep going, because they're gonna figure it out.
And so this one I felt was an important one to share, because what I've really noticed is the more honest and authentic I am, the more relatable the videos will be for people. And maybe not necessarily to everyone, but you'd never know who you're going to get through to. And it's just being completely yourself. And I know that's a really scary thing to do. And I know there's a lot of people that may not be quite as comfortable as sharing, you know, a huge amount of their story. But if you're comfortable, sometimes being vulnerable, whether it's you're frustrated or scared or happy or, you know, just positive, good news, like just sort of being open and honest about what you're going through. We're in a world where more and more people are being diagnosed with MS, and where almost everyone knows someone with MS. So it's like your vulnerability will reach an impressive amount of people if you're comfortable enough to do it. And this often resonates with a lot of people, especially, you know, even someone that's newly diagnosed. And this video would have been kind of one of my more impactful ones. And I'm half asleep and I'm wearing no makeup and I just woke up and I'm crying and they're just tears of joy. And so we're going to go into the next video in a second and you're going to see a big difference. But this is just sort of one of these spontaneous, like, I want people to see my real emotions, because this is what people being involved means to me. So now we can go to the next one.
Hi, I'm Patricia Shahufta, and I'm the spokesperson for the MS Bike Tour Leduc to Camrose. I started riding in 2012, just 6 months after being diagnosed, and I haven't stopped since. One of my favorite memories of the bike tour is being called up that first year with all other people that live with MS, and now being able to continue that tradition every single year. A world free of MS, for me, would mean just that, freedom. Freedom from the uncertainty, from the pain, freedom from the relapses, from the medications, from the tests, freedom from just not having to fight every day. So thank you for being part of the MS Bike Leduc to Camrose. I can't wait to see you at the virtual MS Bike Rally on July 25th and 26th.
And so, yeah, that one was a lot more rehearsed. You know, I had written notes that I had kind of in front, and that was because that was actually, it kind of goes with one of the questions about the pre-screen for the videos. This was something that the MS Society was specifically looking for, and it was questions that they wanted answered and things they wanted me to touch on, and even like specific kind of things that they wanted me to say. So there's definitely a time and a place for those, and writing things down can definitely ensure you don't miss sort of those key messages that may be asked of you to be included. And the MS Society, the great thing is if they're asking for something like that, they're usually always going to provide you with that. So yeah, and I'm it's funny being the subject of a documentary, the landscape portrait. Like I've definitely had to learn. So when the more rehearsed ones are being filmed, I you know, that video that you just saw, that's sort of the gold standard of recording videos. There's like 4K, something else. But for the most part, when it's like the everyday stuff, as I'll kind of show you in the next couple videos, these are kind of the fun ones. These are things that I've just played around with. I probably don't even do them right half the time, but we can go into one of the next ones. Are you gonna talk?
Am I gonna? Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
you
talking.
talk this
Okay.
time.
We made it all the way to Workshop Eatery. We're gonna have a bite, a salmon burger, of course.
Probably,
right?
yeah, I'd say so.
And yeah, then we're gonna bike home. Hopefully, we make it.
What? So yeah, that one was just fun. That was with my partner who was doing the rides with me. So we had a salmon burger as a fundraiser, and that was kind of our last stop. So that was the end of that sort of first longer video. And so it just kind of completes the whole thing for people, but just being fun, being silly, someone, you know, having people that support you in the video also, like, it's great. Or so if you're volunteering for a reason that you're supporting someone, even having that person, if they're comfortable enough, that is a huge impact to be able to say, you know, like, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm involved. This is the person that inspires me. And so a lot of it for me is having my partner. I want people to see how involved he is, and I really want to recognize him for that. And so I think people that resonates with people as well. And then, yeah, so these next couple, so I'd say probably 8 and 9, or 7, 8, and 9, you can just kind of play.
Look, I just flipped the switch. Flip. I don't know nobody else that's doing this.
Yeah, so that one is, if you're paying attention to anything on Instagram or TikTok or any of those things, that was like the flip the switch. I think they were even doing it with the American election. Like, I just was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I kind of have an idea. I'm just gonna wing this. So that was a you know, a funny one, and then we can go on. So we got that one, and then we've got, I think, the MS jersey one next, which is yeah. So I mean, that one was a funny one. Yeah, here you go. So yeah, so those ones are fun. Like, that was a pain and to film, I'm not gonna lie. But the fun thing about these things is I honestly have no idea how to use some of these new apps. Like, I was the person that, you know, however many years ago, was like, Instagram, like, that's never gonna go anywhere. Like, why would you post pictures? Like, do you stay on Twitter? It's all words, right? And now Instagram is like the only thing, and now you've got all of these other apps, and I'm absolutely no expert in using any of them, but there's a lot of kind of even free editing apps that you can kind of like put videos together, and then sort of the next 2 videos are an example of how one will change to another. So we can go on that one.
Ain't nobody got to go crazy. I got what you need. Everybody think you should, but I know you a freak, little baby. I've been overseas going crazy. I can tell you love it when we made up.
So that one's just blank. And then if you see the next one, you'll see, if Joel, if you want to play the last one there. Yeah.
Amazing. Ain't nobody got to go crazy. I got what you need. Everybody think you shy, but I know you a freak, little baby. I've been overseas going crazy. I can tell you love it when we made up.
So that's a perfect example. The first video was just me doing a plank with some fun music, you know, kind of trendy music of the time. The second one was where I added some words. So people are asking how I was recovering from the bike tour, and I was saying, you know, me having MS, I use physical activity to manage my MS symptoms. So I don't really have a choice of, taking a break. But then, still tagging people. And then, so on certain platforms, when you tag people, that gives them the opportunity to share your videos as well. And then you have a bigger reach than just your own following. So, so there's just little fun things like that you can do. I'm, again, no expert on Instagram, but that honestly, I think all of the different things, like you can add polls, hashtags, tags, songs, like GIFs, like little animations, like you saw the word sweat, and it was dripping while my sweat was dripping, right? So just things to kind of like get people's attention, kind of keep them engaged. There's definitely, I'm sure there's probably resources around that, and potentially maybe that'll be another session that people might want to learn from. I would happily attend, because like I said, I'm not necessarily an expert, but I just, if you take anything away from it, it's just basically, have fun, be yourself, and be vulnerable if you're comfortable with it. And yeah, just pay attention to what's going on and what message you want to send, and you'll be able to figure it out. Is there any questions?
Well done, Patricia. Thank you so much for sharing all your experiences with us. We've got some feedback already and a couple of questions in the chat box. So from Amanda, totally agree with Patricia. I find being real and honest really hits people. Keep it up, girl. You're killing it and representing a big group of us. From Terry, we have very good video, pardon me, clear audio, and landscape, not portrait. Well done, Patricia. TikTok, quality, fun. And then from Jackie, we have a couple of questions. Patricia, your passion comes through brilliantly. My question is, where do you find your courage to be so vulnerable, open, and creative? What advice can you give someone who struggles with this?
So this is a kind of a really, and I wanted to touch on this, but I wasn't quite sure how. So when I first got involved, I just wanted to feel like I was doing something, and I was never a person that was really, I never thought I would be doing anything like this. I never really thought I'd be an ambassador or a spokesperson. And it seemed like just the more honest that I was with not only everyone around me, but also myself, the easier this kind of became to live, not only live with MS, but I realized too that the more awareness people have about the disease, the easier life with MS is going to be for those who are living with it. If everyone around us has a better understanding of what's going on, it makes things easier, all the way from, trying to date, from trying to have babies to, all the way up to government decision makers, right? Like I've been all the way up to the federal government and the House of Commons to try and work on some of the supports that they're trying to work on there. And so it's just, if I'm not sharing the story of MS, who's going to, right? Like it's up to the people that live with it to share their story and to make these things known, so that the appropriate changes and supports can be put in place. And so for me, it became I wasn't necessarily super comfortable with it at the beginning, and then the more I was given these platforms and I could see a real difference being made, the more it just kind of compelled me to do more. And it's just the amount of people that have said that the most vulnerable times resonate with them. It's fascinating to me, even the fact that even when I share my struggles with MS, how many people that aren't necessarily struggling with just like with MS, they're struggling with other things, it still resonates with them, right? And so I think it's that kind of desire to make not only myself not feel alone, but make a lot of, the rest of newly diagnosed people or just people living with MS not feel alone as well. And so I think that's my driving force. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for presenting today and for your passion and your dedication to the MS Society. We couldn't do it without people like both of you. Patricia and Michelle, we appreciate your time so much. Thank you for sharing your experiences and your mistakes with us and your learning curve with us and your expertise with us. So I think we all have a lot to take away from both your presentations. So thank you. All right, and everybody, thank you for your feedback and questions. We're going to move on to the next section now, and I am going to be introducing for you Mari Sato, who is our Manager of Content and Communications Strategy. And she, I believe, is coming to us today from Toronto. So take it away, Mari.
Thank you so much. So hi, everyone. I'm Mari, Manager of Content and Communications at the MS Society of Canada. My role consists of primarily driving content strategy and storytelling on our social media channels and our blog. And today I'm here to talk to you about my video tips and tricks. So next slide, Joel. Perfect. So let's start things off. So as you may know, the rise of video content has been continuously growing over the last decade. In fact, videos on social media platforms such as Instagram receive 49% more engagement than regular photo posts. And in the age of COVID, selfie videos in particular have really been redefined. So not only is it a great way to share your story in a very personalized way, but it's a way to connect with others, quote unquote, face to face. So CEOs in large corporations are now relying on selfie videos to connect with their stakeholders, while others use this as a personalized way to connect with loved ones throughout the pandemic. Next slide. So how do you record a successful selfie video? With so much saturation of content out there, how do you cut through all of that and ensure that your content is being noticed? Well, I'm here today to share my tips of how recording a successful video can work with 10 simple rules. With creating a successful selfie video, there are always two sides of it. So the technical side and the engagement side. So I'll be addressing tips on both. So number one is to ensure your backdrop is appropriate and that there are no distractions. People will notice your background in the video, so make sure you pick an appropriate place to film. Keep in mind that if your backdrop is too cluttered, it might be distracting throughout your video. Also, make sure your background is quiet. I typically recommend filming indoors, as an indoor environment can be a bit easier to control. But if you do happen to be on site at an outdoor event in the future, just make sure that you're mindful of the sounds coming through the video, whether it's busy streets or music, etc. And if you have access to a microphone, wear one, but otherwise just be mindful of the sounds that are coming through. Also, make sure to limit distractions and turn off all notifications and apps on your phone. Number two is that natural lighting is your best friend. So ensure there's sufficient lighting when you're filming. If you're indoors, position yourself in a well-lit room with natural sunlight, typically near a window, but not directly in front of it so that you don't have the light right in your eyes. If you're outside, make sure you're facing the sun so that you are standing with the sun on your face rather than on your back. The last thing you want is to have strong, bright light in your background. Number three is to choose the right video orientation for your project. So I heard everyone here chatting about landscape versus portrait, so I'll go a bit more into that. So next slide, John. Thank you. So there are three types of video orientation that you can choose from. As you can see in the slide, landscape is the horizontal view where you tilt your camera to its side and capture a widescreen format of the image. Portrait mode is the vertical view as seen in the middle image, and then the square orientation refers to the format where the length and height are exactly the same as you've seen on Instagram. So when filming a video, it's really important to think about which orientation works best for your project. So I'm just going to provide some pros and cons for both. So pros for landscape: the video does look a lot more polished and professional when it does follow a widescreen format. So as seen in one of the videos that Patricia showed earlier, if you're looking for more of a polished view, then we would recommend landscape because there's just more room for editing as well. So if an organization reaches out to you for a video, they will likely ask you for this format, just because if it's being professionally edited, then it can also be adapted into a square video, so there's just more to work with. The cons of this type is that it's not as mobile friendly. So pros for square and portrait videos is that they are mobile friendly. So in turn, it really does attract more engagement from your users. So over the last 7 years, video consumption has increased 233% through mobile devices. And today, over 92% of Facebook users use Facebook on their cell phones. So uploading a video in a portrait format will really allow the preview of your video to appear larger on the newsfeed when someone is just scrolling through their social media channels. Square videos also garner more views, reach, and engagement than landscape videos, so this is also something to keep in mind. The cons for this type of footage is that it's not as great for YouTube. Unfortunately, when you upload a portrait or a square video, you will see those two black, odd-looking panels on either side of the video, so just to keep that in mind. Next slide. So number 4 is to introduce yourself and end with a call to action. So context is really important. So assume your audience knows nothing and just introduce yourself as an MS ambassador, for example. It's also important to end with a call to action, which should be the action that you want people to take or the purpose for the video. So for example, if it's a thank you video, make sure you close the video out by saying thank you. Number 5 is to consider framing and positioning. So decide whether you want to sit or stand and how much of your body will appear on camera, and make sure you position yourself accordingly. Also, position your camera level to your face as well. One tip is to avoid staring directly into the camera at the top of your phone when you're recording. Instead, watch yourself in the video, or if you do decide to look into the camera, just try to avoid staring directly into it for a more natural and less intense look. Number 6 is avoid cutting the video off abruptly. So at the end of the video, just avoid cutting the video as soon as you were done saying your last sentence. Instead, let the recording go on for like 1 or 2 more seconds and then press stop. It's always better to crop the end of the video if it's too long rather than to have it end way too soon. And one trick, if you're trying to achieve a happy, positive, upbeat tone, remember to smile and then let the video go on for 1 to 2 seconds and then end the video. So next slide. Number 7 is to make it engaging. So be personable, human, and connect with your audience. I think Michelle and Patricia both did a really, really great job at that. You want to make people want to keep watching your videos. So it's really critical to capture the attention of your audience that way. It's also critical to capture the attention of your audience in the first 3 seconds of the video. According to Facebook, 65% of people that watch the first 3 seconds of your video will actually watch for at least 10 more seconds. So that first 3 seconds is critical. So you can start with an eye-catching visual or an interesting statement or a fact to capture the audience's attention right away. Or you can rely on powerful captions to increase the likelihood that someone will watch. Number 8 is to keep it short and sweet. So I know someone touched on this earlier, but the longer the video, the more the engagement does drop on social media. So that's why it's best to keep it as short as possible. On Facebook, the ideal video length is 1 minute to drive the most amount of engagement. On Instagram, it's 30 seconds, and for Twitter, it's 45 seconds. So they're all around the same sweet spot. Try not to ramble, and as a rule of thumb, make sure your video is no longer than 1.5 minutes. Number 9 is don't rely solely on audio. So according to Facebook, 85% of videos watched on this platform are watched on mute. No surprises there. This also means that you'll need to be able to create videos that capture the audience's attention and make them want to turn on the audio. So on Facebook and Instagram, you may have noticed in the past, if you use it often, that native videos do start to play automatically without sound. So instead, you'll need to try relying on other things like strong visuals, powerful captions. Captions do increase the viewing time by 12%. Or choose an eye-grabbing thumbnail, so the little preview screenshot that you see on social media before your video begins. And if you are tech savvy, there are apps also that you can add your own subtitles. And so that's also helpful as well in terms of getting people to watch it a bit more. Number 10 is to use sharing sites and apps to transfer large video files. So uploading to Facebook does distort the video quality if you want to save it and then reshare it again. So if you want to share videos and retain the same quality, I would advise sharing it through WhatsApp or a file sharing site like Dropbox, Google Drive, or WeTransfer.ca that really allows you to send larger video files through email. Again, when sharing with friends, Facebook is totally okay. This is only when you want to save the video and then reshare that file for next time. Next slide. So now that I've shared my 10 rules for success, I've also been asked to show everyone today how to upload a video onto a Facebook group. So I'll be doing just that. Facebook groups are some of the most engaged virtual spaces we have seen within the MS community. So in the picture in the slides, you'll see one of our active Facebook groups called We Challenge MS. It's currently a space where our event participants and community members have connected. And so some of you may know how to upload a video, but just in case, I've put together step-by-step instructions. So number one is to go into the Facebook group. And when you go into the Facebook group, you'll see the picture on the left-hand side. That's what it'll look like for you. As you can see, I've circled where it says photo and video. So you click that button right there. Select the video or picture from the computer files that you're hoping to upload, and then press open. And once you do that, it'll actually take you to the screenshot that I had put on the right-hand side. So then your video will pop up, and where it says write something, you can just add some text and then press the blue post button. So next slide. So before I wrap up, I just wanted to address the importance of storytelling within the MS community. At the MS Society, we love seeing members of the community share their own stories on social media and tagging us in their content, like Patricia and Michelle both do the same thing. And here are two examples right here of incredible stories from our community members. On the left, we have a gentleman who shared his story about what it's like to be a young man living with MS, talked about some of the symptoms he experiences. And then on the right-hand side, this story was actually told through this woman's daughter. And Shelby talked about her experiences of having a mother live in long-term care, particularly since COVID-19, and it really did resonate with the community. So the reason I wanted to bring this up is because we're always looking to amplify the voices through the perspective of people living with and affected by MS, and share the community members' stories through this authentic storytelling. So I just wanted to leave you all with just one thought, which is that social media is a very powerful tool in spreading awareness about the disease. The power of people sharing their own story and having our community members support this by resharing the content is so critical to building awareness about the disease and really maximizing our reach across the country. So final slide, Joelle. So if you do have any incredible stories you'd like to share, please follow our social media channels. They're right on the slide right there. And if you post something on your own channels, tag us on social media, or email us at socialmedia@mssociety.ca for a chance to be featured. I saw someone comment here saying that, you know, sometimes it's difficult to tell your story, and we are always open to sharing stories anonymously as well, if that's something you would be more comfortable with. So whatever point you are in your journey, we're always interested in hearing your story. That concludes my presentation. I hope you all learned something, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mari. Do we have any questions? I know we're getting pretty close to when we said we'd be wrapping up, but we did warn you that we might be going a little long, and no big surprise, we are. But those were great tips, and you've got them attached to your email reminder about this meeting today. So you've got a printed form of Mari's presentation as well. So there's tips in there for you. I don't see any questions coming up in the chat box. So what Mari was explaining to us about how to post a video on Facebook takes us right into our next segment, where I'm going to introduce a couple of the other members of the executive here in BC. You're going to now hear from Patricia and Paula, and they have the lucky job of introducing a brand new resource just for ambassadors. So Paula and Pat, take it away.
Hello, everyone. By now, you know me. I'm Paula Springman, part of the MS Ambassadors Executive Committee. Well, I'm really excited today to be able to tell you that a lot of effort went into getting this Facebook page going, and we're so excited about it. We couldn't have done it without the help of all the staff right across the country, I believe, that were involved with making sure that we were doing this right. So thank you to all the staff. We appreciate everything you've done, and we are so excited that we're going to be able to showcase the ambassadors and keep ambassadors connected. That's what it's all about. So in this group, we are going to encourage you to share the impactful work that you are doing as an MS Society ambassador within your community. Inspire others by sharing your story. building community capacity, and creating connections with other leadership volunteers of the MS community. I can hardly wait to see who's going to be the first to start posting some great things that are happening in their community. So now I'm going to ask Joel if she please show our wonderful Marilyn Lenson with a welcome to our Facebook page.
Sorry, you just have to bear with me. It's going to be buffering.
Hello, MS Ambassadors. Welcome to our new Facebook page for the MS Society of Western Provinces. I'm Marilyn Lenson, Chair of the BC and Yukon MS Ambassador Program. And as a long-term volunteer with the MS Society of Canada, I'm excited to launch our new Ambassador Facebook page. Something I have cherished about the Ambassador Program is the sharing of personal stories and hearing what other ambassadors are doing. COVID has brought us into a whole new world that has stopped us from doing this face-to-face. Now, with our new Ambassador Facebook page, we can continue to do this virtually. Thank you for volunteering as an MS Society Ambassador. Working together, we can help the MS Society achieve its goal to have a world free of multiple sclerosis. As part of the MS community, we can facilitate knowledge transfer and encourage the adoption of new ideas. As ambassadors, we can inspire and mobilize others to take action and create a greater awareness of MS. Please share with us your personal stories, elevator pitches, and research tidbits on our Facebook page. Check in often with the page to see what's new from the MS Society, researchers, and fellow ambassadors.
Thank you, Marilyn. That's a great video to get us off to a really good start. So with our new Facebook page, we are going to have some group rules with the administration of it. So I'd like to introduce Patricia Wilson, another one of the Ambassador Committee executive members. She's going to read off some of the group rules from administration. Pat?
Thank you, Paula, and thank you, Marilyn. You did a great job of introducing the excitement for our new Facebook page. We are pretty thrilled because, as Mari stated, it truly is the power of sharing our own stories. So whether it's video or a picture or a caption or something that you want to put up, we're excited that we will be able to have this venue that we can all share. But like everything else, there are some rules. And, you know, pretty basic rules, but things that we should all be aware of. Be kind and be courteous, kind of goes with everything these days. No hate speech, no bullying. We want to respect everybody's privacy, so we have to be cautious what we put up there. No medical advice, although we've all got lots of it these days with COVID and all the other things coming about. We're not going to share that on this site. No promotions or spam, kind of goes without saying. No harassment. And no partisanship. So those are kind of the basic rules. We all have to have rules around these things, unfortunately, but we'll adhere to those rules. If there's something that goes up on the site, we're not going to vet it before it goes up. You can certainly put it up, but if something goes up and it doesn't adhere to these rules, then we will take it down. You are allowed to post anything you want. We do allow members into the group. You have to apply to the group like most other Facebook pages as well, and we will go through and vet it and invite members to join. Paula will finish up with the rest of the, oh, sorry, Paula, I took in all the rules. I said that, yes.
That's okay.
I just kept reading and reading and reading. Go ahead. You can go to the other part of this, what we were going to talk about as well. You can have it all. It's all yours, Paula.
We do have some questions that you will be asked when you join the group. So we will want to know where you're located. Are you engaged with the MS Society in one or more of the following ways? You've attended the MS Ambassador training, or you're an MS council member? Yes or no? If none of the options above are applicable to you, you're interested in learning more about one or both of these opportunities, please provide your contact information, name and email, and we will follow up with you. There are several of us who are in the admin group who will be looking at things daily, and we'll be getting back to those that are admitted to this Facebook group. So we thank you for your interest. We're looking so forward to seeing what's going to be on our Facebook page and the great connections we're going to make even amongst ourselves across the provinces. I'm looking forward to getting to know some of the volunteers in the other provinces and see what they're doing. So again, thank you and welcome to the new Facebook page for the Volunteer Ambassadors.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Pat and Paula. So we're going to wrap up now. We're getting there. We're really close now. Using this new Facebook page is how we would like to wrap up our training sessions for this fall for the Ambassador Program. So what we're going to do is ask you folks out there to do a little bit of homework and share it with all of us on our new Facebook page. And of course, it's all about making that video. So here is the outline of what we are asking everybody who wants to participate to try and do. Your personal story, your elevator pitch, or your research tidbit. Videotape that for us, post it up to the new Ambassador Facebook page, and we will showcase some of them in our final training session. So your topics for your videos are those three: your personal story, an elevator pitch, a specific topic of your choice, a research tidbit, again, a specific research project of your choice. We're asking them to be 30 seconds to a minute. If you can do it in 15, even better, that would be amazing. But a minute is the maximum amount of time we are aiming for. As we heard from our tips and tricks today from Mari, a minute is really as long as you want to go on social media these days. We're asking you to post it to the Facebook page by Tuesday of next week. That's Tuesday, October 27th. And then in our wrap-up session next week, we will showcase a few of those. So I hope that's clear as mud. The link to the Facebook page was included again in the reminder email that you would have gotten from Joelle today that went out. So you can just click on that link directly to, and that'll take you directly to our new Ambassador Facebook page. If that doesn't work, then you can attempt to do a search on Facebook. That might work, but you might get a lot of other info on there as well. As we all know, there's a lot of stuff on Facebook. So if you need help, please get in touch with staff and they will resend that link to you. So that's the homework portion. Do we have any more questions at this point coming from the group? No, we do not. So I'm going to throw it back to Adrienne now to wrap us up. And I just want to say thank you again so much to all our presenters today and to all of you for being here. Adrienne, over to you.
Great, thanks. I'm feeling so inspired and so excited about the video challenge. I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody comes up with. Just want to take a moment to thank the Ambassador Executive. We wouldn't be having this training session and the program would not exist with all of your time, talent, and dedication. So thank you so much. Patricia, Michelle, thank you so much for taking the time to put together your presentations. Your effort is so, so appreciated by everyone. And Mari and Joelle, thank you for all of your behind the scenes work, because I know everyone's been working hard over the last 2 weeks. So thank you so, so much. Yeah, so our next session is our wrap-up video showcase, which is going to be on Thursday, October 29th. We're really looking forward to showcasing some of the videos and also really looking forward to hearing from you. We want to hear, how you felt these sessions. Were they impactful? Were they helpful? Any type of feedback is what we want to hear. So hopefully you'll be able to attend and provide that. And as well, we want to know what you would like to see from us in the future, because we're definitely looking forward to doing new and exciting things next year. So thank you so, so much for attending, and just, really feeling like we're building a great sense of community here, and just feel very honored to have met all of you online and look forward to one day hopefully meeting all of you in person. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a good evening.